Hey guys, welcome back to the Pulling Curls podcast. Today on episode 248, we are talking about exercise in pregnancy. So let's untangle it. Hi, I'm Hilary, a serial overcomplicator. I'm also a nurse, mom to three, and the curly head behind Pulling Curls and the Pregnancy Nurse. This podcast aims to help us stop overcomplicating things and remember how much easier it is to keep things simple. Let's smooth out those snarls with Pregnancy and Parenting Untangled, the Pulling Curls podcast. This episode of the Pulling Curls podcast is sponsored by the online prenatal class for couples. If you are looking to get prepared quickly, it's the class for you. It's going to leave plenty of time to work out, so come get prepared with me in the online prenatal class for couples. I am super excited for today's guest. I actually hang out with her every Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning on YouTube on her channel, Kaleigh Cohen Strength. I want to introduce today's guest, Kaleigh Cohen. Hey, Kaleigh, welcome to the Pulling Curls podcast.
Thank you. I am just so excited to be here with you.
Yeah. Oh, so last night I was getting into bed and I was like, you need to remember that she doesn't know you, Hilary.
I know, but sometimes when you just even chat, through email, you kind of get to know someone's personality just with the way they say things. So I feel like this could be an instant friendship.
It could. Yes. Our emails have been great, but there are several mornings that I've been like, F you, Kaleigh.
I'm sure. Sometimes I even think that myself because we have these workouts. You never know. It's always something new.
Yeah. Although I love your workouts. Just did one this morning. Anybody who's looking for workouts, find them. She has a whole pregnancy playlist. So grab them. My favorite thing about you, because I do a lot of workouts on YouTube, is that you do look like you're struggling sometimes.
Oh, all the time. Yes, I do. I said, those are the workouts that I share are the workouts that I do. I don't add anything. And that is, so my workout is your workout and I'm going to give it my all, just like I asked you to give your all. So that's how it is.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so today we are talking about exercise and pregnancy, and I was just reading an article that was talking about how it can prevent, I don't know that I want to say prevent gestational diabetes, but it definitely could like lessen how severe it is and all those. There's so many benefits to exercise in pregnancy. So how far along are you right now, Kaleigh?
I am 2 days away from 37 weeks, but who's really counting? No, it's, that last month is the longest month of pregnancy. It's like never ending. I'm like, any day now, although it's still a little early, but yeah.
I mean, 37 weeks is considered term, so I'm with you.
Yeah. So we are almost there, but it's actually been great the whole time. So with the workouts and all.
That's awesome.
But yeah, thank you. And I will tell you, I have the benefits and have also, just like you, this is my thing. So if I can research benefits of exercise in any realm, I'm going to do it. And you're right. I have seen so many benefits for exercise during pregnancy that have just blown me away, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's really surprising. And I got to say, so my first baby is 24 years old. They really did not talk about exercise during pregnancy early, like with my first one. They were kind of like, you're a bit of a fragile flower, maybe go on a walk.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, thankfully, I would even say from my first pregnancy, there were more restrictions than there are even now. So it has come a long way, just like a lot of things have. And I am so glad that it has. So now it's just getting the news out to everyone that it is a great thing to do while you're pregnant.
Yeah. Okay. So do you have benefits you want to tell me?
Yeah, absolutely. So I will share. So like I said, I was pregnant 10 years ago with our son. And for that pregnancy, I kind of had that same mindset. Well, I don't want to do too much. I had the clear to work out, but it was, and I was into fitness at the time, but being pregnant and working out was a place that I have never been before. So I was a little bit nervous, a little bit hesitant, and was just kind of soaking in all the things you do when you're pregnant. Enjoying the food, the resting, all the things. And so with that pregnancy, it was challenging, the labor and the delivery. Then the postpartum, the recovery for that without the exercise was just on a whole new level. So when I got pregnant again, I was a little bit nervous, but I said, I'm pretty sure if I work out this time, that's going to help. So with our daughter, which was just a few years after that, I worked out a little bit more, closer to, I would say, about 30 weeks. I was not as regular as I am now with my exercise, but a little bit better. And there was such a difference in my pregnancy. And then the recovery was just out of this world. Like with my son, I gained 50 pounds. With my daughter, I gained 25, 30 pounds. And it was so much easier to get back into life. Well, I guess I shouldn't say life, back into my fitness after that. And now with this third pregnancy, I have worked out the entire time and can say that my energy levels and just the ability to stay active this whole time has been amazing. So I'm actually excited for the delivery this time to see how it changes in the recovery. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell for how it has made such an impact to do workouts during pregnancy.
Okay, Kaleigh, first off, I have to ask, are you still filming workouts at 37 weeks?
I am, yes.
Ooh.
I'm
I
going to
hope you
go
go
as
into
far
labor during a workout. That would be amazing.
I know. I was like, what if my water breaks? Should I just, keep going? No, that will not be a good idea. But I was like,
TikTok, you're
that
going
would
to
be,
put that on the TikTok. That's what you're going to do.
yeah. And we are done filming now. So yeah. But that was actually my goal this was my own personal goal. I didn't really share it with anyone, but that was my goal, to work out as long as I was cleared to work out and I felt good to work out. I was going to work out every day until he arrives. So
Yeah,
still the plan.
good reminder. You should check with your provider. So I don't hear a lot of people getting really into the fitness in the first trimester because you are bone tired. Did you find that was problematic?
Oh my word. Yes, the first trimester. I was very sick. I just had morning sickness that was morning all day. Not morning all day. Hold on. That was sickness all day. It was not morning sickness. It was a all day thing. So it was very hard to get your energy up when you are struggling to eat anything, and anything that's going to provide you with good fuel to get through your workout. So absolutely the first trimester was the toughest part of working out during this pregnancy. However, with that said, if I could work myself up, or when I worked myself up to do that workout during that time, afterwards, it did make me feel a lot better. So that was like the silver lining in all of the workouts during my first trimester.
Yeah. And then you can just tailor it to what you need, right? I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to do that full workout. But if you get mid workout and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to make it through the rest of my day, then stop. Do a stretch.
Yes, absolutely. There is like nothing wrong with cutting a workout short. That's one of the biggest things too during pregnancy, is always listen to your body. That is a key. So, whether you are used to lifting heavier weights, I have gone down quite a bit in the weight that I lift now, and I'm just glad to be doing it. So
Yeah.
usually I would maybe get a little discouraged, but no, the fact that if you are still doing it while you're pregnant, drop it down, do what you need to do, and just feel good and enjoy it.
I mean, to be fair, you are carrying the extra weight every single day.
That is a very good point. Yes. So there is that as well. So that's a really good point.
Yeah, but you should talk with your provider just about what's good for exercise, what you should limit. And then I also recommend that if people are having weird aches and pains, symphysis pubis dysfunction, whatever, go to physical therapy and ask them when you're there, is there anything I should be avoiding in exercise? Because my pelvis split and I just kept doing prenatal yoga. And looking back, I was like, maybe I shouldn't have lunged, right?
Yes, absolutely. There are some, yes. First things first, I should have even said that, is make sure that you are cleared to exercise. And then again, that goes to the second point of doing what feels good to you. If it does not feel good, don't do it, because we are changing so much where, our ligaments, everything is starting to stretch and loosen, and doing certain exercises, like you mentioned, the lunge, anything like that can put a lot more pressure in areas that it usually wouldn't. So yeah, that's a very good point, is to just take it easy. And if it doesn't feel good, don't do it.
Yeah, skip it, take a break, take some water during that period. I'm all about your hydration. And I would
Yes.
much rather drink water than do lunges, personally.
All day.
Every
That's
day.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, okay, Kaleigh, in my studies, I found that people who exercise are less likely to have birth trauma. And I don't know if that is because those people tend to have maybe some more time, maybe some more financial resources, maybe are more willing to speak out because we've been like suffering the whole time. I don't know. Do you have thoughts on that?
Um, that is a really good question. And thinking on that, like I mentioned with my first pregnancy, I didn't work out. And when I think about that, like that was a lot more traumatic. Again, like I said, when I got pregnant with my daughter, I was like, oh my gosh, how is this going to go this time? But I think for me, anyway, just from a personal experience, having been able to compare those, the physical ability, I feel more capable. So it's almost my mindset going into it. I feel more capable and I have just kind of that strong mentality that going into my labor and all of those things that I can do it. Where with my son, it was exhausting almost from the very beginning. So in my mind, at least for me, I just feel like with the determination that we get from our workouts and that mindset that we can get through something difficult helped set me up for a more positive experience in my second birth and now hopefully into the third as well.
Yeah, I think that totally makes sense. I used to have a Vietnamese doctor who would go, Hilary, you don't know how lucky you are to have PE. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, did you just say PE, like physical education? He said, yeah, these Vietnamese lady, they don't have PE, so they can't push.
Oh my
And I want
word,
to
that makes
apologize to everyone for my poor Vietnamese accent, but I just wanted to tell you how he told it to me. And I was so lost when he initially told me. But he said, and it sort of makes sense now, especially thinking about the whole birth trauma is like, I grew up doing PE, like I grew up doing exercises. And these Asian women probably didn't because they grew up in Vietnam, the majority of them. And maybe that is a benefit to us. So huzzah for our high school PE classes, I guess.
yeah. No, absolutely. That is so true because then you bring up a really good point because just to go back to that point is when we lived in Saudi Arabia. And so I had some friends from India and one of the ladies that would come to my workout classes said that her sister can't even vacuum the house. She has to have her husband do it because she does not do any sort of physical activity and she's just not strong enough. So it just reminded me of her story and how she was like, I'm doing this because I want to vacuum. And I was like, that's it like first of all, you're incredible. I'm like, I get goosebumps just remembering her because she was so strong and she was so determined. But yeah, it goes back to your point that taking care of our bodies and being physically active changes a lot in our life and can really take us mentally to someplace maybe that we haven't been before to be stronger in that area.
Yeah. Okay, what tips do you have if people are like, I can't do it. I can't put in one more thing because I know everybody's so busy, right? And they just have zero energy. What are your tips for that?
So start small, even if it is 5 minutes, and you do just start walking for those 5 minutes. Do that. YouTube is packed with different workouts. The only thing with YouTube, always ensure that when you find someone on YouTube, just check their background, make sure that they are certified in what they're saying they're certified in or what they're teaching you. But just start small. And when you start, sometimes I like to look at the end before I start and just thinking of the benefits that you'll have out of it, that your baby will have out of it, and just that little bit, if you can start small, will start to grow and compound each time you do it. And sometimes you'll get into a workout and you're like, okay, I'm just going to do 5 minutes, but then that turns into 15, 20 before you know it, and you feel so good by the end. So always just think about those feel good feelings at the end and all the benefits that you are gaining from taking the time, just that short time to do your workouts.
Yeah. Two thoughts. I always feel better after. And I just feel like that's a lie I tell myself in the morning. Like morning Hillary is like, that's a lie. You're going to feel worse. You're going to feel more tired. And I'm like, if I feel more tired, I will take a nap. That's how that's going to work. And it'll be fine. And then the second thing is a lot of people are like, oh, baby doesn't want us to be stressed out. But it's good for baby to experience small bursts of you being stressed out, like cardiovascularly, physically, even just like, you know, you drop a knife and you're afraid it's going to hit your foot and your heart rate goes up a little bit. It's good for baby to experience short bouts of stress, and people don't know that. It's not great for baby to experience long-term stress, which working out will also help because it decreases your stress in general.
That is true. Yes. Very good point. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, what's your least favorite exercise to do pregnant?
Oh man, my least favorite exercise to do pregnant is that is a hard one. You know,
There's so many to choose from.
I know. I'm like thinking push-ups.
Mm.
And those weren't always my least favorite to do, but my least favorite exercise to do pregnant is probably push-ups. It's just, I worked so hard to get them on my toes. I know they'll be back, but now I'm on my knees, and which is fine. That's not a big deal, but it's just every time I go down, I can feel my tummy hit, and then I come back up. So
Yeah.
it's just, that one is the hardest one for me right now to do.
I'm sure at 37 weeks, good for you. I'm clapping. Nobody wants to hear clapping on the podcast. Okay, what's your favorite exercise to do pregnant?
Favorite exercise is probably, I'm going to say glute bridge. Well, it's hip thrust now because I'm on the bench, but I love that one. That one is like all around. I still feel super powerful in that one. And it's just, I just love how that one works. The core, it works the glutes, the legs, all the things. So that's probably my favorite one to do.
That's awesome. Okay, I just had one remembrance. So I follow all these people, physical therapists, and they are talking so much about squats during pregnancy, how we sit, we're just sitting at the computer all day or sitting. And I was a labor nurse I was a nurse the whole time I was pregnant. So I wasn't sitting at the computer very much. Do you have thoughts that you've researched or anything, exercises that can really be helpful when you get to pushing because your pelvis is so used to just sitting?
Yes. So I have heard that squats do start to open up your pelvis. And that, when you're pushing, you can think about a squat when you come down. I always like to say, to even get more out of your squat, instead of just standing back up, think about pushing the floor away. So you've got that push right there in the squat using those muscles. So I think that's a great one. And then another one that kind of goes along with that with squats is just to make sure that your hip flexors are loose. So you can really get into that deep squat, because that is super helpful. And that's one that I will just do around the house, just hang out and do like a deep squat. And that just, I feel like my hips open up so much, and it takes so much pressure off of my hips and my back when I do squats.
Yeah. And
So
if
just
you're
body
sitting
weight.
there like, I can't even do a squat like they do on TV. I actually followed people on TikTok who taught me how to do a squat again. So I could like pull against a bar, like at our playground thing outside, and do a squat that way. I used my couch behind me. There are ways to be able to safely get into a squat, because I was like, these muscles are never going to come back, but they can.
Yeah.
So I would follow people who teach you how to squat better. It's possible.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You said that. I just used my dresser last night, actually, because I was like, I need to loosen up my back and my hips here. So deep squat, here we come.
Yeah.
So use my dresser for that. Yeah.
And when I'm in line at Disneyland, I always am doing deep squats in the line. I'll hold on to the little bar and I'll squat down. My body just feels so much better.
It does. It's like a whole, oh yeah. It just takes away all that pressure. I love it.
You know who doesn't love it is my teenagers. They're like, what are you doing, Mom? I'm like, shh, we're in line.
Oh, that's too funny. I'll remember that then when I have teenagers. No low squats in the Disney line. I'll remember that.
Or let's all do it together. I'm always like, let's do it together. I wouldn't be embarrassed if you did it right now.
That's good. Just get him to join the team. There we go.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on. I think people, if you're not exercising during pregnancy, just start. In fact, if you follow me on Instagram on Pulling Curls, I frequently will be like, I did half of Kaleigh's workout today because I'm working on heavier weights. And I'm like, I'd rather try my goal is to try the heavier weights, even if I only end up doing one of the 2 reps. So that's what I aim for lately. And there's no shame in that. Like, I don't want people to feel bad that they only got through one of them.
Exactly. No, the fact that's one more than you would have done. And with the heavier weight, that's what you want. So I am actually so excited that you said that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So get started. Come find us on Instagram if you guys have questions or what you could do. Follow Kaleigh. She's on YouTube. She's also on Instagram to give you some ideas. Follow her pregnancy workouts. A lot of them had only been 20 minutes, which I absolutely love.
I'm all about the short workouts. Listen, we don't have time for all those long workouts. We can get just as much in 20 minutes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I think it is so easy to say you're just too tired to work out when you're pregnant. And I cannot tell you anymore how much happier you're going to be if you add some exercise into your pregnancy routine. So be it just some walking, I would recommend strength. Kaleigh's coming back on to talk about strength and being a woman, but I would recommend doing it. I think you're going to be so happy with it. stay tuned. We have some great episodes coming up. We are talking about how I do healthcare at our house. We're going to talk about my health share. And then the episode after that, we are talking about signs that your birth might be hard. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining us on the Pulling Curls podcast today. If you liked today's episode, please consider reviewing, sharing, subscribing. It really helps our podcast grow. Thank you.